Hello, you're welcome to our broadcast today. I want to be sharing something with you. If you have been going through a very tough time in your relationship or marriage, and it's like it's frustrating, confusion, quarreling and fighting on a constant basis, or even not talking to each other, or it's like you find your used to be lovable. Amazing husband or wife has become all of a sudden your worst enemy at home. It's not supposed to be so. It's not supposed to be. And I want to be sharing with you what you can implement and how you can handle such situations. Because remember this, the scriptures, the Holy Scripture says that the one who is married will have many troubles. So he says, he would rather suggest that a man should not marry. Well, having said that, that doesn't mean that marriage is a curse. No. Even in life, living a life as a single person, you will have many troubles. But when you get married, it's like you have double trouble. That's what I was talking about. And the question is, are you ready for that? But you see, it depends on how equipped you are for marriage. Because a lot of people are not equipped for marriage. They just marry. You see, I always tell people, when we want to decide on the career to choose, we do a lot of consultation. We do a lot of training. Even when we have chosen the career, we think about it so thoroughly, and we have to do some training. Some people have to go to school to study 4 years, 5 years to learn on how to become a doctor or become a lawyer or become a nurse, and all of this wonderful, beautiful career that they follow just to earn money. All right. And when we want to make choices in choosing our friends, the same we try to go through the processes of learning and understanding who should become our friend and best friends, right? But when it comes to choosing a life partner, one that you're going to spend the rest of your life with, many of us take it so casually. Many of us approach it in a very normal way. We just think everything is okay. I mean, come on, I love him, he loves me, so we can be together. No, that's not the way it should be. But you see, many people have found themselves in such predicament, and that's why we have these troubles overwhelming them in their relationship. The troubles that comes to you in your marriage are not supposed to overwhelm you. You are supposed to conquer them. Yes, they will come. There is no doubt you will not have problems. There is no marriage on earth, no relationship on the face of the earth without problems, without troubles. But you see, you can be equipped to handle them, to overcome them. And that's one of the reasons I'm sharing this video with you today. But my concern today is to talk to you about knowing the difference of the opposite sex. Knowing the differences in your significant other. A lot of people don't know that there are a lot of differences about their significant other. You need to have an understanding of the values of your partner. If you don't have an understanding, see, let me explain this way. First, the problems with not knowing the difference of the opposite sex is too much, is too huge. That's what Paul talks about, that when you get married, you're going to have a lot of problems. And those problems comes due to a lack of the understanding, the difference of the opposite sex. You see, this lack of understanding of the value of my wife, the value of my husband, of your husband, the value of a man and a woman, the characteristics of a man and a woman, the distinctive quality of a man and a woman, this lack of this understanding leads to frustration. It leads to quarrels. It leads to anger. And it leads to hate that we experience in our relationships. You say, is that true? Of course it is true. When the purpose of a thing is not known, abuse is inevitable. What does that mean? It means every man has a purpose. Every woman has a purpose. There's a reason why a woman was made. There was a reason God made the man. And that is their distinctive values. It is their distinctive quality that we all need to have understanding of before even getting married. You see, when you know and understand how and why your spouse is different from you, when you know and understand why your spouse is different from you in thoughts, you see, in behavior, in relationships, or in reactions, let me put it that way, in reactions, and in relating with other people. When you notice that there is a difference between you as a man and a woman in such arena, in such realms, arena, like in thoughts, in behavior, in reactions, and in responses or relating with other people, then you will begin to enjoy peace, intimacy, and then you begin to enjoy trust in your relationship. This is so important. This is so vital. Many years ago, over 15 years ago, I began to question myself of these things. I needed to know who I was, understand myself. What distinctive quality do I have? And the woman, I was studying about women and what is their distinctive quality? What is their value? What's their characteristics? Not to know is to find yourself in the web of frustration and confusion in relationships. Now, remember this. Before the fall of human being in the Garden of Eden, when God created man and woman, before the fall, if you will understand, go through the study of the scriptures, you discover that both of them understood their distinctive qualities. Both of them understood their differences. And they lived in harmony in the garden before the fall. They lived in harmony until the fall. I want you to understand this. Now, after the fall, their differences was completely erased. The understanding of their differences was completely erased from their memory. Let me give you an instance. Did you know before the fall, right? The woman and the man were in the garden, and the woman was talking about the fruits that God said they should not eat of, the tree that was in the middle of the garden, which is the tree of the knowledge of good and evil. But guess what? The man was there when the woman was talking about this tree, this fruit, and negotiating on how to go about it. She was not asking for the man's solution or advice, which the man knew. He understood. The man was listening. He kept quiet. The Bible says the man was with her. So she ate of the fruit and gave it to the husband who was with her. Why didn't he say anything? Because he understood the difference. He knew when a woman is lavishing out her complaints and trouble and worries and concerns, he was not in his own responsibility or duty to give her unsolicited or unsolicited advice. It wasn't his responsibility to try to provide solution. Rather, it was his responsibility to listen. And then listen with empathy and interest. So, He was there. Of course, we know it was out of his love for the woman that he permitted that treason to take place by the woman, and which obviously he accepted, consented to, because of the love that he has. Now, all of this is boiled down to understanding the value and the differences that man and woman is packaged with. Now, you see, these days, we men expect women to communicate, behave, and then react the way men do, which is wrong. That is absolutely wrong. But that's what we do all the time. Men want women to react and respond the way they think they should do. It's a mistake. And women, on the other hand, mistakenly expect men to communicate, you see. They expect men to react or respond to them the way women normally would. You see. So we have these conflicts of understanding our values, understanding our differences. You see. So this is the reason we are struggling in our relationships. Because the woman expect the man to respond as a woman. Talk to her as a woman. Do things and have feelings and reactions as a woman. Then the man also expect the woman to communicate, react, and respond to him as a man would. Because his brain is wired in a different way. The brain and the mindset and the structure, the characteristics of a woman, the personality of the woman is wired differently, is programmed differently from the man. And not knowing this is why many go through tough times in their relationships. But we have forgotten one thing, that men and women are completely different. Every day we wake up, we have to understand that men and women are complete. Your wife and your husband, you are not the same. You are different. You may be one in one house because you're married, but your distinctive character, your distinctive personality is different. It's not the same. So, not to know this is what results the catastrophe, the frustration, the endless and unresolved conflicts that we experience in our relationship. And this is one of the things I want you to know. By the time you clearly identify, by the time you clearly understand these differences, you will be largely reducing the amount of stresses and confusion in your relationships and marriage. I'll say that again. By the time you clearly understand, clearly identify and understand these differences between you and your wife, between you and your husband, by the time you clearly know and understand it, you will largely be reducing the amount of stresses, frustration, quarrel, anger, fightings, and misunderstandings that filled your relationship and marriage. Wow, that's powerful. Then that's changing my life. That's what changed my life. I'm still working on those things right now. But guess what? The beauty is that I'm enjoying the benefit. I'm enjoying the benefit. It's awesome. It's great. So here's my goal. My goal is to help you to clearly identify and understand these differences. This is my plan. This is my goal. This is the reason for these videos and the channel which you're watching these videos from. And this is the reason for all of the seminars that we are organizing. Why? Because our goal is to help you clearly identify and understand these differences. And therefore taking you by the hand to help you largely reduce the amount of stresses and confusions that you may face in your marriage. We are not saying that you will completely eradicate the problem. No, but you will come to a place where you'll be able to manage, completely in control, in charge of every trouble and problem that may try to attack your relationship. You know what to do. You know how to subside those things. You know how to reduce the amount of stresses. You now know what to do to reduce the amount of anger, quarreling, fighting that constantly plague your relationship. This is my goal. This is my goal. In our next seminar, in my next video, I'm going to be teaching you the two biggest mistakes we make in our relationship. The two biggest mistakes we make in relation to the opposite sex. I want to be sharing that with you. It will bless you. Let me give you a hint. Do you know that men mistakenly offer solutions and invalidate the feelings of their wives without knowing? They mistakenly, constantly want to offer solutions that is not needed. They want to offer advices that is not requested to their wives, thereby invalidating their feelings and making the woman feel that she's not recognized, she's not cared for. It's a mistake that we go through in our relationship. Many people go through that mistake every day. As I'm talking to you, thousands and thousands of people are making that mistake. Men, especially, are making that mistake right now. Number two, women offers unsolicited advice and direction to men. Is a mistake. And they do it all the time without even knowing that is what is making the man angry, resistance, offended. We're going to be sharing this with you in our next video. So I want to encourage you to be part of it. So if you're watching us on Facebook, then I encourage you to follow us, like the page, subscribe, share the page, the video with your friends, and then follow us. If you're watching us on YouTube, what's the word? Subscribe. Hit the subscribe button and then hit the bell notification button so you receive notification as soon as the video is uploaded or when we are live. So I want you to enjoy your relationship. I want you to be happy. God wants you to be, and I want you to be. So thank you so much for listening to this video, and I'm glad that you learned something. And also you're going to be sharing this video with your loved ones and family and those you know that are in relationship that we can help right now. And that's what we're here. So I encourage you to share the video. Thank you so much and have a beautiful day. I'll see you again in our next video.